Hello there, and welcome to our quiet corner of the universe. I am so glad you found your way here to this gentle space where curiosity meets calm. Tonight, we'll embark on a journey not through distant stars, but through the hidden wonders of our own reality, peeling back the layers of the world you thought you knew. There's nothing for you to do now but simply let go. Allow your mind to relax, your breath to deepen and slow, and your body to grow soft and light, as if gravity itself has decided to loosen its gentle hold on you. Just rest. If these calm, curious explorations help you unwind or offer a quiet way to end your day, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It helps others find their way here too, and perhaps find a moment of peace in their own busy lives. Before we begin our voyage to the distant reaches of the cosmos, let us first return to ourselves, to the world we touch, feel, and see every single day, because physics tells us that the most unbelievable truths, the most profound secrets are often hidden in plain sight, nestled within the very fabric of our accustomed reality. So, as you rest, let us gently explore the whispers of these hidden truths, allowing them to carry you to a place of deeper stillness. The table you might be resting your hand on, the walls that surround you, even the very cells that make up your own body, softened. They all feel so wonderfully solid, so continuous and unwavering. It is a comforting sensation, this feeling of stability and presence in the physical world. Yet, physics unveils a truth that is both grand and subtly disorienting. This perceived solidity is in fact a magnificent illusion. What we perceive as utterly firm and dense is, at its most fundamental level, composed almost entirely of vast, empty space. Imagine it for a moment. If an atom were expanded to the size of a grand cathedral, its nucleus, that tiny dense core, would be no bigger than a single grain of sand at its very center. And around this minuscule grain, electrons would be whirring and dancing in an expansive, almost boundless void. That void, that immense emptiness, accounts for more than 99.999% of what an atom truly is. This means that you, as you lie here, listening, are not the dense, continuous entity you perceive yourself to be. You are, in essence, an exquisitely structured collection of countless tiny, vibrating points of energy, held in dynamic balance across an ocean of nothingness. Your bones, your skin, your very thoughts a sifty. They emerge from this ethereal dance. Think of yourself not as a block of granite, but as a living, breathing nebula, a beautifully intricate cloud of almost nothingness, swirling with unseen energies. The sensation of touch, of pressure, the very resistance you feel when you push against something furry. These are not the results of atoms physically bumping into one another like billiard balls. Instead, they are the subtle, powerful repulsions of their electron clouds, fields of negative charge that push against each other, creating the illusion of impenetrable solidity. It's like trying to push two magnets together at their like poles. They never quite touch, but you feel an undeniable force pushing back. So tonight, as you drift, allow yourself to feel into this profound truth. Let go of the need for absolute solidity. Feel your body grow light, spacious, almost translucent, as if the vast empty spaces within your atoms are expanding, allowing a sense of boundless freedom. You are an incredible testament to the universe's ability to create complexity and consciousness from an almost unimaginable emptiness. A gentle cosmic whisper suggests that perhaps In embracing this void within, we can find a deeper sense of peace and an ethereal lightness of being. You are made of stardust and vast silence, a delicate, energetic cloud. We often imagine that the deepest, most tranquil emptiness in the universe is a perfect vacuum so in a place of absolute nothingness, utterly devoid of matter, energy, or even potential. It sounds like the ultimate quiet, doesn't it? A silent, serene canvas stretching into infinity. But physics, with its gentle, persistent whisper, reveals another astonishing truth. A perfect empty does not, and perhaps cannot, truly exist. Even in the most remote, pristine corners of cosmic space, in the profound depths we perceive as utterly vacant, the universe is far from static or still. It is alive, teeming with an invisible, almost imperceptible froth of activity. This isn't the kind of activity that would disturb your rest. It is a quantum dance, a ceaseless, shimmering ballet of virtual particles constantly winking into and out of existence. These tiny ephemeral entities send I particle, antiparticle pairs send I borrow existence for the briefest of moments, emerging from the very fabric of space-time before annihilating each other and dissolving back into the quantum foam from which they arose. They are like minuscule, shimmering waves on a vast, unseen ocean, born from the boiling energy of the quantum vacuum, only to recede back into the depths. They are here and then gone, a flicker of light in an otherwise dark, silent sea. So, the nothingness we imagine is, in fact, a vibrant, restless sea of potential. It is not an absence, but a continuous, fluctuating ocean of energy and possibility, an underlying current of the cosmos. This empty space is the fundamental wellspring from which all matter and energy ultimately arise. It cradles galaxies, it breathes life into stars, and it subtly shapes the very fabric of reality, even as it remains hidden from our direct senses. It is the universe's quiet hum, a constant, gentle thrum of creation and dissolution. As you close your eyes, consider this profound truth. Even in the deepest stillness, in the profound emptiness of your mind, there is a gentle, unseen energy at play, a constant birth and fading, a quiet, vibrant hum. The space around you, even the space between your thoughts, is never truly empty. It is filled with this latent potential, this subtle, shimmering energy, holding the promise of all that is yet to be and all that has ever been. It is a comforting thought, a quiet reassurance that even in moments of profound stillness, life's gentle undercurrent continues to flow, endlessly giving birth to subtle new possibilities. Light, the very essence of vision, brings us the brilliant tapestry of colors and forms that define our waking world. We perceive it as a continuous stream, illuminating everything around us, flowing gracefully from the sun or a lamp. Yet, light itself is a far more curious and enigmatic phenomenon than our everyday senses suggest. It isn't a thing in the solid, tangible way we often imagine. And in its purest form, light itself possesses no color. The vibrant hues we cherish are simply our brain's interpretations of different wavelengths of light, each dancing into our eyes and sparking a unique sensation. But the mystery deepens, for light is a remarkable shape, shifter, a master of duality. Sometimes it behaves exactly like a continuous wave, spreading out across space with a gentle undulating motion, much like ripples expanding across a perfectly still pond. In this wave-like state, it seems to flow and bend, caressing objects and carrying energy smoothly, infinitely. It passes through the cosmos, whispering its story across unimaginable distances, a continuous stream of information. And yet, at other times, light reveals an entirely different nature. It acts like tiny, distinct packets of energy, individual particles called photons. These photons are almost like miniature, precise projectiles, each carrying a specific amount of energy, striking your retina with incredible accuracy to create the sensation of vision. Imagine them as countless, weightless motes of stardust, each on its own journey, arriving at your eyes in a continuous shower. Our entire visual world, the rich landscape of everything we perceive, is built upon this exquisite paradoxical interplay fluid, this delicate, wondrous dance between wave and particle. So as you gently drift, picture light not as a simple, singular entity, but as this complex, beautiful duality. Imagine its waves softly stroking the surfaces of the world. Then envision countless tiny particles, like silent messengers, carrying snippets of truth directly to your senses. It is a constant, effortless symphony, a cosmic ballet that unfolds every moment, shaping our perception of reality without us ever truly noticing its profound complexity. This continuous interplay, this gentle whisper of dualities, ensures that our universe remains vibrant, alive, and eternally fascinating. The light that guides your dreams and paints your inner world is woven from these two threads, a soft, ethereal tapestry of wave and particle, inviting you to simply be and to see. We often move through our days believing in a grand, unified now, a singular moment shared across the vast expanse of the cosmos. It's a comforting thought, isn't it? That as you listen, perhaps a star on the farthest spiral arm of a distant galaxy is experiencing precisely this same instant, synchronized with your gentle breathing, your softly settling thoughts. Yet, physics, with its quiet, profound truths, gently unveils that this notion, this shared cosmic present, is a beautiful illusion, a tender construct of our limited perception. Imagine light, that swift, elusive messenger, as it races across the universe. It is incredibly fast, yes, but it is not infinite. Its journey takes time, and in this simple, elegant fact lies the unraveling of our shared. Now, when you gaze up at the moon, that soft, luminous orb hanging in the velvet sky, you are not seeing it as it is in this exact, infinitesimal fraction of a second. No, you are seeing it as it was 1.3 seconds ago. The light that carries its image to your eyes has traversed a small, yet significant distance. Now extend that quiet understanding when you turn your thoughts towards the sun, that nurturing heart of our solar system. Its warm glow reaching you took approximately 8 minutes to arrive. So, the sun you perceive, the one bathing your world in light and life, is already 8 minutes into its future, and beyond to the distant stars, some of which may have ceased to exist long before their light, their ancient echoes, finally whisper across the void to grace your vision. The brilliant sparkle you perceive from a star hundreds of light mirrors a portrait of its past, a luminous memory from centuries ago. This isn't a flaw in reality. It is reality itself, unfolding in its majestic, unhurried rhythm. The very fabric of space-time, a fluid, ever-shifting tapestry, ensures that there is no singular universal clock ticking away for every corner of existence. Each observer, each particle, each galaxy inhabits its own delicate bubble of now, slightly out of sync with every other. Your moment, your quiet presence, is uniquely calibrated to your position in the cosmic dance, to the path light has taken to reach you. It is a beautiful, humbling thought, isn't it? To understand that your now is a deeply personal experience, a unique slice of time and space. There is no universal conductor synchronizing the grand orchestra of the cosmos. Instead, each note plays out in its own gentle succession, creating a symphony that is richer, more intricate, and far more wondrous than a perfectly unified beat could ever be. You are not missing out on a grand collective present. You are simply living within your own exquisite, unfolding moment, a gentle drifting perception of the universe as it was and as it continues to become. Let this understanding soften your grip on the strict linearity of time, allowing your mind to simply float, untethered by the need for a universally shared instant, resting instead in the quiet, personal flow of your own unique now. For so long, we've been taught to imagine gravity as a powerful, unseen force, a celestial tether pulling us relentlessly towards the Earth's core, holding the moon in its orbit and keeping the planets circling the sun. It's a compelling image, isn't it? An invisible hand, a magnetic embrace, an inescapable pull that binds the universe together. But then a quiet genius, Albert Einstein, emerged from the shadows of conventional thought, offering a radically different, far more elegant, and infinitely more beautiful perspective. He didn't just refine our understanding of gravity. He redefined it, transforming it from a mere force into something far more intrinsic to the very nature of reality. Imagine, if you will, the universe not as an empty stage upon which forces act, but as a vast, delicate, and immensely pliable fabric. Picture it as an enormous, infinitely thin sheet of rubber, stretched taut and smooth across an immeasurable expanse. Now, gently place a heavy bowling ball onto the center of this sheet. What happens? The sheet doesn't remain flat, does it? It dips, it curves. It creates a gentle, profound depression around the weight of the ball. This, in its essence, is Einstein's profound revelation. Gravity is not a force emanating from an object, reaching out to pull others. No. Gravity is the very curvature, the quiet, graceful warping of space-time itself, caused by the presence of mass and energy. The Earth, this grand blue marble beneath you, is like that bowling ball. Its immense mass creates a gentle, invisible depression in the fabric of space-time all around it. And we, the moon, and everything else in its vicinity aren't being pulled towards it in the traditional sense. Instead, we are simply following the natural gentle slopes and curves created by this warped space-time. Think of a marble rolling across that same stretched sheet. If the sheet were perfectly flat, the marble would roll in a straight line. But if there's a depression, the marble, without any external force guiding it, will naturally curve inward, drawn into the dip created by the heavier object. It's not being pulled, it's simply following the shortest, most natural path through the curved landscape. This is why planets orbit stars, and why you remain firmly planted on the Earth's surface. You are not bound by an invisible rope. You are gently cradled and guided by the very geometry of the universe itself. This understanding shifts your perspective, doesn't it? It transforms gravity from a stern, inescapable tug into a gentle, flowing current within the cosmic river of space-time. You are not being forcefully pulled down. You are gracefully resting, drifting, and flowing along the natural contours of the universe. There is a deep, quiet comfort in this. It suggests a universe that doesn't exert blunt force, but rather guides and embraces, shaping the paths of all things through its inherent structure. You are not fighting against an external pull. You are simply moving within the elegant, self-supporting architecture of space and time. Allow this profound truth to bring a new sense of gentle support, a feeling of being effortlessly held, not by a distant power, but by the very space that surrounds you, cradling you in its vast, intricate design. We often perceive the world as neatly divided into two distinct realms: solid, tangible, matter, and ethereal, energetic. The chair you sit on, your own body, the gentle breeze outside, Famdit, these are matter. The warmth of the sun, the light from a distant lamp, the subtle hum of electricity, Fendi. These are energy. They seem utterly different, two separate fundamental ingredients in the cosmic recipe. Yet, physics, with its profound unifying vision, whispers a secret that dissolves this rigid distinction, revealing a deeper, more wondrous truth. Matter and energy are not separate entities at all. They are merely two different expressions, two faces of the same fundamental, vibrant essence. Imagine, if you will, that every particle of matter in the universe, from the grandest star to the tiniest speck of dust, and yes, every single atom that comprises your magnificent self, is not truly solid in the way we commonly understand it. Instead, each atom, each proton, each electron, is essentially a vast concentrated reservoir of what we perceive as frozen or congealed energy. Think of a boiling, effervescent stream of pure potential, slowed down, condensed, and woven into the intricate patterns we recognize as physical form. This is the astounding implication of one of the most famous equations in all of science. Mach. It's not just a formula, it's a profound statement about the fundamental interchangeability of matter and energy. It tells us that a tiny amount of mass holds an absolutely immense amount of intrinsic energy, locked away, quiet and still, within its very being. To truly grasp this, consider the quiet power held within something seemingly inert, like a single grain of sand. If you could somehow unlock and convert all the energy contained within that minuscule grain, that silent speck of matter, the potential energy released would be enough to power an entire city for a significant span of time. It's an almost unimaginable scale of energy, isn't it? And now, extend that understanding to your own being. Every cell, every molecule, every atom in your body is a silent, breathtaking testament to this truth. You are not just a collection of inert particles. You are a living, breathing miracle of condensed starlight, a magnificent tapestry woven from the very energy of the cosmos itself. The atoms in your bones, the blood flowing through your veins, the very thoughts forming in your mind. Force, all are manifestations of this ancient, vibrant energy, quietly held in form. This perspective imbues everything around you, and indeed yourself, with an astonishing aliveness, a deep, inherent potential. There is a subtle, humming energy underlying all apparent solidity. You are not a static object. You are a dynamic, living expression of the universe's most fundamental essence, a quiet eddy in a vast, energetic river. Allow this awareness to settle gently within you. Feel the incredible, latent power and deep interconnectedness that this truth brings. You are not merely resting. You are resting as pure, profound energy, a vibrant part of the universal flow. There is a quiet strength, a gentle hum of existence in every particle that makes you. You are a miracle of luminous energy, gently breathing and softly dreaming, held in the tranquil embrace of the universe. Now, let us gather our focus from the vast, star-swept canvas of the cosmos and gently draw it inward, down into the unseen realms that whisper at the very heart of everything. Here, in this subtle, shimmering landscape, the rules of our everyday world softly dissolve, and physics begins to unfold a reality stranger and more wondrous than any ancient myth or whispered dream. You are safe here, floating on the edge of comprehension, ready to drift into the deepest truths. You feel the calm solidity of the mattress beneath you, the gentle weight of the blankets, the quiet air filling your lungs. In your daily world, everything seems to possess a certain, reassuring stillness. The ground beneath your feet is steadfast, the walls around you unwavering, and even your own physical presence feels constant, a defined boundary against the fluid world. You might imagine that, at their very core, all things eventually settle into a quiet, unwavering repose, a perfect and profound stillness. But here, in the tender, unseen heart of all existence, physics gently reveals a different truth, a secret known only to the smallest whispers of creation. For nothing, absolutely nothing, is truly still. Every fundamental particle, every tiny constituent that weaves together the fabric of reality, is a vibrant, rippling wave of pure possibility forever in motion, forever gently swaying. Imagine, if you will, not a fixed point, but a soft, luminous cloud. This cloud is not a definite thing, anchored in one spot. Instead, it diffuses, a faint, shimmering presence spread across a tiny, invisible stage. This is the essence of an electron, or a photon, or any of the myriad elemental spirits that compose the universe. They do not occupy a single, static point. Oh no, they exist, instead, as probabilities, as whispers of potential, simultaneously hovering in countless different places at once. Before you or any conscious gaze settles upon them, they are a tender, unfolding dream, a faint vibration in the great cosmic sea. They are like echoes dancing in the deep, quiet corners of space, a soft hum of being that is everywhere and nowhere all at once. This is not a frantic, chaotic motion. Rather, it is a serene, almost meditative oscillation, a gentle ebb and flow of presence and absence. Each particle, in its profound solitude, is a tiny symphony of probabilities, a continuous, harmonious chord resonating through the void. It does not simply I exist in a singular location. It chooses its existence. Or rather, it permits its potential to linger, to softly bloom across the spectrum of possibilities. You might think of it as a soft, rhythmic breathing of the universe itself, where even the most fundamental building blocks are forever inhaling and exhaling their very presence, never truly holding still, always in a state of delicate, continuous transformation. So, when you consider the table beside you, or the very hand you might rest upon it, remember this quiet secret. They are not built from rigid, unmoving bricks. Instead, they are woven from this same soft, ethereal energy, from these countless perpetually swaying possibilities. Even the atoms of your own body, the silent architects of your being, are not static temples of matter. They are intricate dances of these probability waves, constantly shifting, constantly in a state of subtle, internal motion, and in this gentle, ceaseless sway, there's a profound comfort. It means that nothing is truly fixed, nothing is rigidly defined. Everything is alive with an inherent, tender fluidity, a quiet, underlying hum of vibration that connects you, in this very moment, to the deepest, most tranquil rhythms of the universe. You are a part of this endless, graceful sway, a soft echo in the grand cosmic dance of probabilities, held gently within its infinite shimmering embrace. You might believe that seeing is a passive act, a simple reflection, a quiet mirroring of what already exists. In your world, you glance at a tree, and the tree remains just as it was, untouched by your gaze. You turn your eyes to the sky, and the clouds continue their slow, majestic journey, oblivious to your witnessing. Our everyday experience teaches us that the act of observation is separate, a detached perception that leaves the observed object entirely unaltered, a silent testament to its independent reality. But here, in the whispering realms where the smallest fragments of existence reside, physics unveils a truth far more intimate and infinitely more profound. For in the quantum world, your gentle act of looking, your very consciousness turning its attention, becomes an active, decisive participant in the unfolding of reality itself. Imagine, once more, that shimmering cloud of possibility, that gentle wave of potential that we spoke of. Before your gaze, before the universe offers its soft attention, this tiny entity is a boundless dream, holding within itself countless possible shapes, countless possible locations. It is like a hushed stage, set for an infinite number of plays, none yet chosen, all waiting in the silent wings. But then, you turn your eye. Your awareness, however soft, however fleeting, becomes a tender touch, a gentle whisper that awakens one specific reality from the multitude. In that instant, in the quiet confluence of your observing mind and its waiting potential, the particle, like a sleeping flower, softly unfurls into a single definite state. It chooses, or rather, it allows itself to be chosen out of its infinite possibilities to present one particular facet of its being to you. It is as if the universe, in its deep, timeless wisdom, holds its breath, suspending its tiny secrets in a state of beautiful, shimmering uncertainty. And it waits. It waits for your gentle query, for the soft, inquisitive spark of your attention. And when that spark arrives, it offers up a single, clear answer, a unique manifestation drawn from its vast internal sea of potential. It is not that you create the particle or conjure it from nothingness. Oh no. Rather, your observation, your very act of quiet attention, gently guides its profound potential towards a singular, tangible reality. It collapses the many into the one, solidifying a fleeting dream into a perceivable truth. This means that you are not merely a silent spectator in the grand cosmic drama. You are, in a very real and profound sense, a co-creator, a gentle sculptor of the smallest truths. Your conscious gaze, your quiet, focused intention, carries a delicate power, shaping the very nature of existence at its most fundamental level. The world, at its deepest core, is not entirely separate from your perception of it. Instead, it holds within it a profound reciprocity, a soft, intimate dance between the observer and the observed. In every quiet moment, as you simply ponder, are simply fondi. Our Taoan perceive you are engaging in this wondrous dialogue, whispering reality into being, one gentle observation at a time. It is a comforting thought, a quiet reminder of your inherent connection and delicate influence over the soft, ever-unfolding tapestry of the universe. As you rest here, enveloped in the quietude of this moment, perhaps you feel a gentle current of connection, a subtle knowing that you are not alone in this vast, star-dusted cosmos. You might sense an unseen thread weaving through the silent fabric of space, linking you to distant shores, to other beings, to the very heart of the universe itself. In our everyday experience, connection happens through touch, through sound, through light that travels across space, always bound by the familiar speed limits of our world. A message whispered from afar takes time to reach you. A distant star's light takes millennia to arrive. We understand that distance imposes separation, that vast expanses of space imply a profound disconnection. But in the tender, mysterious depths of quantum reality, physics unearths a truth that transcends these ordinary boundaries, revealing a bond so intimate, so instantaneous it feels like a soft, ghostly embrace stretching across the void. Imagine two tiny, elemental spirits, born from the same ethereal spark, deeply intertwined, bound by an unbreakable, unspoken promise. We call them entangled particles. Once they have shared this profound connection, once their fates have been gently interwoven, something truly extraordinary begins to unfold. They become two halves of a single, coherent being, forever linked no matter how far their paths may diverge. One might drift across the vast, echoing canyons of interstellar space, while the other remains close, perhaps nestled in the heart of an atom right here on Earth. Billions of light years might separate them, an unfathomable gulf of nothingness stretching between their quiet presences. Yet, despite this immense, unimaginable distance, their connection remains perfect, immediate, and utterly profound. For when a soft touch is applied to one, when its silent existence is gently nudged or observed in any way, its distant partner across the unimaginable cosmic expanse, instantly, without the slightest hesitation or delay, responds. It is as if a whisper spoken on one side of the universe is heard without the passage of time on the other. There is no signal that travels, no message that rushes through the darkness at the speed of light or even faster. Oh no, this is a connection that operates beyond the constraints of mere velocity, beyond the familiar chains of space and time. It is a shared reality, a profound, intimate resonance that binds them as one, an instantaneous mirroring of each other's state, as if they are merely two aspects of a single, universal thought. This is the spooky action at a distance that even the great Einstein found so profoundly unsettling, so wonderfully paradoxical. It hints at a deeper layer of reality, one where separation is an illusion, where the universe at its core is a deeply interconnected web, a tapestry woven with invisible threads of profound intimacy. It suggests that, in the deepest, most fundamental sense, there might be no true distance at all for these intertwined souls, only a shared eternal present. You can think of it as a soft, sympathetic vibration that echoes across the universe, a silent hum of kinship that transcends all barriers. And in this knowledge, there is a deep, abiding comfort. It whispers to you that even in the vastness, even in the seeming solitude of your own being, You are intimately connected to everything, woven into the fabric of a universe that holds its deepest secrets in bonds of instantaneous, loving embrace. You are part of this grand, silent symphony of connection, never truly alone, always echoing with the subtle, profound presence of the whole. You are resting now, perhaps feeling the gentle weight of the blanket, the soft texture of your bed, and you know with absolute certainty that the floor beneath you is solid, the walls around you impenetrable. This conviction, born of everyday experience, feels utterly unshakable. It is a fundamental truth of your physical world, a boundary that keeps you safe and contained. You cannot simply pass through a wall. Your body cannot merge with the solidity of the material. And yet, physics, in its quiet, persistent way, whispers of a deeper reality, a truth that dissolves these seemingly absolute barriers. The reason you cannot walk through a wall is, in essence, a matter of scale. You are a vast, intricate collection of countless atoms, bound together in complex structures. For your entire form to pass through another solid object, every single one of those trillions upon trillions of atoms would have to, by some incredible coincidence, quantum tunnel through its own corresponding obstacles simultaneously. The odds of such an event are so astronomically small, so impossibly remote, that they effectively amount to zero. Your macroscopic experience of solidity is, in this sense, a statistical certainty, a consequence of immense numbers. It is a grand, comforting illusion necessary for our everyday experience. But let us zoom in, far beyond what the eye can see. Past the cells, past the molecules, down to the realm of the individual particle. Here, at the smallest scales, the rules that govern your everyday reality begin to soften, to blur, and to transform into something profoundly stranger, something almost magical. Imagine a single minuscule particle, perhaps an electron, dancing through the void. It encounters a barrier, a thin wall of energy, a hurdle it should, by all classical reasoning, be unable to overcome. A wall too high to jump, too thick to push through, an obstacle seemingly designed to hold it back. And yet, in the quiet, mysterious realm of quantum mechanics, this particle does not always obey such straightforward logic. Sometimes, against all classical expectation, it simply slips through. It doesn't fight a crack, it doesn't break the barrier down. It finds no secret passage, it tunnels. It simply ceases to be on one side and reappears as if by a phantom whim on the other. This phenomenon, known as quantum tunneling, is not a flight of fancy, not a theoretical curiosity locked away in abstract equations. It is a very real, very active process that shapes the universe in profound ways, even allowing stars to shine. Think of it like this: a wave rolling gently towards a seawall. Sometimes the wave breaks against the wall, its energy dissipating into foam and spray. But imagine a subtle part of that wave, a whisper of its essence appearing on the other side without ever having gone over or through the solid barrier. The particle in its quantum nature is not a tiny hard sphere, but a wave of probability. And sometimes this wave of probability extends a tiny faint tendril through what should be an insurmountable wall. There is a vanishingly small yet ever-present chance that its presence can be detected on the other side. It is a silent, elegant defiance of what we perceive as solid. This isn't about brute force or finding a hidden passage. It is about the fundamental uncertainty inherent in the quantum world. A particle doesn't have a perfectly defined position or momentum until it is measured. Before then, it exists as a cloud of possibilities, a wave spread out over space, a gentle shimmer across a landscape of potentiality. When it encounters a barrier, a tiny fraction of that probability wave can extend through. The barrier like an echo reaching beyond a silent valley, or a soft light filtering through a dense mist. And if that echo is strong enough, the particle can, in effect, rematerialize on the other side, continuing its quiet journey. This elegant, almost ethereal ability of particles to bypass obstacles is not just a laboratory curiosity. It is fundamental to the very existence of our sun, and indeed, to all stars. Deep within the sun's scorching core, hydrogen atoms are meant to fuse together to create helium, releasing the immense energy that warms our world. But for this fusion to occur, the hydrogen nuclei, which are positively charged, must overcome their natural electrical repulsion. They need to get incredibly close to each other, so close that the powerful nuclear force can take over and bind them, like tiny, stubborn magnets pushing against each other before snapping together. Classical physics tells us the sun's core isn't quite hot enough. The pressure isn't quite immense enough for these nuclei to collide with the necessary force to overcome their repulsion reliably. They simply don't have enough kinetic energy to smash through this electrostatic barrier. And yet, the sun shines. It radiates light and warmth for billions of years, a constant comforting beacon in our sky. How? Because of quantum tunneling. The hydrogen nuclei, though not possessing enough energy to classically surmount the repulsive barrier, can, through the whisper of quantum possibility, tunnel through it. They borrow a tiny, fleeting moment of increased energy from the quantum vacuum, just enough to slip past the repulsion, to fuse, and to ignite the furnace of the star, a silent, ceaseless miracle occurring at its heart. Without this subtle, invisible dance of quantum tunneling, the sun would not be able to produce enough energy to sustain itself, let alone life on Earth. The cosmos would be a darker, colder place, devoid of the radiant beacons that dot the night sky, their distant light never reaching us. So, when you feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, or when you simply rest against a seemingly solid wall, remember that at the deepest levels of reality, solidity is but a grand illusion. Barriers in the quantum realm are permeable, porous, and sometimes simply not there at all for the smallest inhabitants of the universe. The boundaries we perceive, the limits we accept, are often softened by the quiet, surprising truths that physics continually reveals. It is a reminder that what appears to be an absolute no in our familiar world can become a quiet, maybe, or even a yes in the astonishing tapestry of the very small. You gaze out at the world, at the smooth curve of a distant hill, the seamless flow of water in a river, the unbroken sweep of the sky. Everything appears continuous, endlessly divisible, capable of being refined into ever smaller portions without limit. You can imagine zooming in, forever finding more detail, more nuance, never reaching a point where the world breaks down into discrete pieces, like a photograph revealing its individual pixels. Our intuitive understanding of space and time is that they are infinitely smooth, like a perfect canvas upon which all of existence is painted, waiting for the brushstrokes of reality. But physics, in its persistent quest to understand the deepest layers of reality, dares to suggest something far more astonishing, something that challenges this very notion of infinite smoothness. some of the most profound theories, born from the merging of quantum mechanics and gravity, hint that space and time themselves may not be continuous at all. Instead, they might be woven from fundamental, irreducible units, like the tiny stitches in an immense cosmic fabric, or the individual threads in an intricate tapestry. Imagine the universe not as an infinitely smooth painting, but as a vast, intricate digital image, where every detail, every color, every shadow is ultimately composed of fundamental, indivisible pixels. These ultimate pixels of reality are incredibly tiny, so small that they utterly dwarf even the most minuscule particles we know. They are far, far beyond the reach of any microscope we could ever conceive, existing at a scale almost impossible for the human mind to grasp. We're talking about distances so small that the very concept of small begins to lose its meaning, melting into pure abstraction. This smallest possible length is often referred to as the Planck length, a dimension so infinitesimally brief that if an atom were expanded to the size of the entire observable universe, a Planck length would still be smaller than a single atomic nucleus within that universe. It is a scale where the very fabric of space-time begins to fray, where our conventional understanding of geometry breaks down anew. Stranger rules take hold. And just as there might be a shortest possible length, there may also be a shortest possible duration, the Planck time. This is the smallest meaningful interval of time, a moment so fleeting that anything shorter is, in a sense, beyond the reach of physical definition. It's the smallest tick the universe can make, the most rapid flicker of change, a cosmic heartbeat too quick for us to ever perceive. Below this threshold, the smooth, flowing river of time that we experience might dissolve into a series of discrete, almost staccato moments, like the individual frames of an ancient film reel, too fast to discern. What does it mean if space and time are fundamentally pixelated, granular rather than smooth and continuous? It means that at the very deepest, most fundamental level, there are limits to how finely we can divide reality. You cannot go smaller than a Planck length, and you cannot measure an event shorter than a Planck time. These aren't just arbitrary cutoffs. They're believed to be intrinsic properties of the universe's foundational structure, the very grains of its being. It is as if the universe has a finite resolution, an ultimate sharpness beyond which no further detail can be found, a cosmic photograph that can only be magnified so far before the individual dots become apparent. This idea is incredibly profound because it implies a fundamental discreteness to existence. It challenges our everyday intuition that everything can always be divided further, that space is an infinite expanse, and time an unbroken flow. Instead, it suggests that the universe, for all its boundless complexity and apparent continuity, is ultimately built upon a finite set of fundamental building blocks, even at the level of the stage upon which everything unfolds. It implies that at its most primal level, reality is digital, not analog. Imagine watching a high-definition movie. From a distance, the images are perfectly smooth, movements seamless, characters moving with liquid grace. But if you were to magnify it endlessly, eventually you would see the individual pixels, the tiny squares of color that make up the picture, revealing its digital nature. Similarly, our macroscopic world, with its apparent fluidity and unbroken forms, might be the high-definition movie, playing out on the grand screen of the cosmos. But if we could zoom in far enough, beyond anything our eyes or instruments could manage, we would eventually hit the cosmic pixels, the ultimate graininess of reality itself, the smallest units of light and shadow, form and void. This granular nature of space-time would mean that at the quantum level, movement isn't continuous gliding, but a series of tiny discrete jumps from one pixel of space to the next, taking one pixel of time to do so. It is a dance of tiny fundamental leaps, rather than an infinitely smooth ballet. This doesn't mean you would feel a jolt as you move through space, because these pixels are so extraordinarily small that the effect is utterly undetectable at your scale, far below the reach of any human sensation. Just as the pixels on a screen blend together to create an illusion of continuity for your eyes, the fundamental quantum pixels of space-time would blend to create the smooth, flowing reality we inhabit, a seamless experience from a hidden, segmented foundation. The search for these ultimate pixels, for the quantum of space and time, is at the very forefront of theoretical physics, a grand and challenging endeavor. It is a quest to understand the bedrock upon which our entire universe is built, to find the fundamental threads of existence. If confirmed, it would redefine our understanding of existence itself, revealing a universe that is both infinitely vast and yet, at its deepest core, exquisitely finite in its fundamental components. It hints at a universe that is like a masterfully woven tapestry, where each thread, though invisible to the casual observer, contributes to the intricate beauty and boundless expanse of the whole. And as you rest, let this thought settle gently, that even the very space holding you and the time flowing through you might be composed of these quiet, ultimate points of reality, silently constructing your world. You know time as a relentless, unidirectional arrow. It always points forward from the past through the present and into the future. Memories reside in the past, expectations and possibilities in the future. Causality, the unbreakable chain of cause and effect, seems equally linear. An event in the past causes an outcome in the present, which in turn influences what happens next. The shattered vase cannot spontaneously reassemble itself. The spilled coffee cannot jump back into the cup. This is the bedrock of our understanding of reality, a comforting and predictable framework upon which we build our lives and our sense of order. But as we delve deeper into the astonishing realm of quantum mechanics, where particles behave in ways that defy all classical intuition, where certainty gives way to probability, even this fundamental understanding of time and causality begins to unravel, to twist into patterns far more intricate and surprising than we could ever imagine. Physics, in its boldest and most perplexing experiments, has shown us glimpses of a reality where the future might, in subtle and profound ways, reach back to influence the past. It is a concept that feels like a whispered paradox, yet it emerges from the careful observation of the smallest constituents of our world. Imagine, if you will, a single photon, a tiny packet of light. In a classic quantum experiment, often referred to as the delayed choice experiment, this photon is sent towards a setup that offers it two potential paths. It can either behave like a wave, gently spreading and passing through two slits simultaneously, like ripples on a pond, or like a distinct particle, choosing just one definite path, like a tiny bullet. The truly mind-bending part is this: in some sophisticated variations of the experiment, the choice of how we time measure the photon, whether to observe it as a wave or a particle, is made further. The photon has already passed the point where it supposedly made its initial choice of path. And here is the astonishing outcome. The photon behaves effugious, as if 50 it knew in advance how it would be measured in the future. If we set up our detectors to reveal which specific path it took, a particle-like measurement, then it retroactively behaves as if it only took one path, even though it had already passed the split point where it seemed to have multiple options. If we set up our detectors to observe an interference pattern, a wave-like measurement indicating it took both paths, then it behaves as if it took both paths, creating the pattern. Again, seemingly having known its future, adjusting its past reality to fit the later observation. This isn't to say that you, resting here, can change yesterday's breakfast or alter a decision you made hours ago. The influence of the future on the past in these quantum experiments is incredibly subtle, operating at scales and in ways that do not allow for macroscopic time travel or paradoxes that would unravel our everyday world. It is not about altering events that have already definitively occurred and been recorded in our everyday reality. Instead, it speaks to the fundamentally uncertain and interconnected nature of quantum reality itself, where a particle's state is not fully determined until it is observed, and where the act of observation itself seems to solidify a past that was previously fluid, a range of probabilities that collapses into a single certainty. Think of it less as a direct alteration of history, and more as a clarification of what was previously undefined. Before observation, a particle can exist in a superposition of states signed a cloud of possibilities, a shimmering array of potential realities. When an observation is made, that cloud collapses and one specific reality becomes manifest, solidifying a particular outcome from the many potentials. The delayed choice experiments suggest that the nature of Sivan that collapse, and therefore the Sivan nature of the past reality that emerges can be influenced by how and when the observation is ultimately performed, even if that observation is in what we conventionally call the future, relative to the particle's initial interaction. It is as if the universe is playing a quiet, intricate game of cosmic hide and seek with its own history. A particle embarks on its journey, holding multiple possibilities open, its story unwritten until the final chapter is chosen. Only when we as observers choose how to look for it later does its earlier journey resolve into a specific reality, a definite past. The future choice seems to retroactively define the nature of the past event, not by changing it in the way a time traveler might, but by selecting which of the many potential pasts actually unfolded, giving it shape and form from the amorphous quantum haze. This peculiar dance between past and future at the quantum level suggests that our linear perception of time, that rigid progression from cause to effect, may be a macroscopic illusion, a helpful simplification that conceals a deeper, more fluid reality. At the fundamental level, the tapestry of space-time may be woven in a far more complex fashion, with threads that intertwine and influence each other in ways that transcend our common-sense notions of before and after. It hints at a universe where time is not a simple line, but a quantum web, where connections can span it across moments in unexpected ways. Consider the profound implications if the very act of a future measurement can influence what was, then the universe is far less deterministic than we typically assume. It implies a deeper, inherent connection across what we perceive as distinct moments in time, a subtle dialogue between what has been and what is yet to be. It whispers of a cosmos where possibilities linger, where realities remain somewhat undecided until they are observed, and where the boundaries between past, present, and future are not as absolute as they seem, but rather softly blurred, always in conversation with each other. This subtle, almost ethereal influence of the future on the past invites us to reconsider the very nature of time itself. Perhaps time is not merely a relentless river flowing in one direction, but something more akin to an intricate quantum dance, where different moments subtly communicate and echo across what we perceive as chronology. It is a reminder that the universe, in its deepest workings, is often far more imaginative and intricate than any story we could invent, quietly holding its secrets in plain sight. And as you drift gently into slumber, let the thought that your future actions, however small, might cast faint, quiet ripples back into the very fabric of the past, accompany you into peaceful dreams. The universe, in its mystery, holds countless such quiet wonders. When you gaze out at the cosmos, allowing your eyes to drift across the vast dark canvas above, you might find solace in the shimmering beauty of the stars, the gentle glow of nebulae, and the quiet majesty of distant galaxies. All the familiar, tangible light you perceive, all the bright sparks of existence that paint the night sky in soft ethereal hues feel like the entirety of creation. They whisper stories of ancient light and cosmic wonders, drawing your mind into their serene dance. Yet, even in this profound perception, physics reveals a grander, more subtle truth. All the matter we can actually see, touch, and measure, every star, every swirling galaxy, every planet, every grain of dust, every atom that forms your very body, accounts for less than 5% of the total mass and energy of the universe. Imagine that for a moment, the brilliant, shining universe, the one you can behold with your own eyes, the one that inspires such deep wonder and quiet contemplation, is merely a delicate scattering of glitter on the surface of an immeasurable, unseen ocean. Beneath this shimmering veil, beyond the reach of our most powerful telescopes, lies an overwhelming presence, a silent, dominant force that sculpts galaxies and guides the very architecture of the cosmos. This is the realm of what we call dark matter. It remains entirely invisible to us, never emitting, reflecting, or absorbing light, nor interacting with any known forces other than gravity. We cannot touch it, we cannot see it, we cannot even directly detect it. Yet its gravitational embrace is the invisible scaffolding that holds everything in place, preventing galaxies from simply spinning themselves apart. Consider the spiral arms of a galaxy, for instance. If they were composed only of the stars and gas we can observe, they would unravel like threads from a cosmic tapestry. But something unseen, something vast and pervasive, is exerting a powerful silent pull, keeping these majestic structures in their slow, graceful ballet. This is dark matter, forming enormous, ethereal halos that cradle entire galaxies, including our own Milky Way. Our home galaxy, this great cosmic island of stars where we gently drift, is nestled within such a halo, a silent, unseen ocean of dark matter that extends far beyond the luminous disk. It flows through us, around us, an undetectable current in which the visible universe swims like a tiny, luminous fish. It is everywhere and nowhere, a constant, gentle presence that is fundamental to the stability and existence of all that we know and cherish. But the story deepens still. revealing an even more profound layer of unseen reality. For beyond dark matter, an even more pervasive and elusive entity orchestrates the grandest motions of the cosmos: dark energy. While dark matter acts as an invisible glue, gently pulling things together, dark energy acts as a mysterious ethereal push, a quiet, inexorable force that is driving the universe apart. It is not confined to galaxies or halos, but is woven into the very fabric of space itself, a constant gentle pressure that expands the cosmos, pushing galaxies further and further away from each other. For a long time, scientists believed that the expansion of the universe, initiated by the Big Bang, would gradually slow down due to the collective pull of gravity. But then came the astonishing discovery that the expansion is not only continuing, but is actually accelerating. It is as if the universe is taking a deeper, faster breath with each passing cosmic moment. This acceleration is attributed to dark energy, an anti-gravitational force, subtle yet dominant, that pervades all of space. It is a quiet tide that reshapes reality, a silent conductor of the cosmic symphony that guides the ultimate destiny of all that is. It represents roughly 68% of the universe's total mass, energy content, meaning it is the single most dominant component of our entire existence. Yet it remains almost completely unknown to us, a profound whisper from the very heart of the void. So, when you rest beneath the scarlet sky, remember this gentle truth: the vibrant, glittering, celestial sphere you perceive, with all its shimmering stars and distant nebulae, is but a fleeting, beautiful illusion, a small warmth in the vast, dark embrace of what truly dominates the cosmos. You are floating within a universe that is overwhelmingly silent and unseen, sustained and shaped by forces we barely comprehend. More than 95% of reality drifts beyond the veil of our perception, a grand veiled tapestry of dark matter holding the luminous threads, and dark energy gently, yet firmly stretching the fabric itself. It is a universe far vaster, far more mysterious, and far more exquisitely balanced than our senses can ever fully grasp, inviting your mind to rest in its profound, peaceful unknown. Feel the quiet rhythm of your own breath, a gentle pulse in the vast, cosmic quiet. Consider the very substance of your being, the warmth of your skin, the strength in your bones, the intricate dance of life within you. These are not merely earthly components. They are echoes of a story far grander, a lineage that stretches back through immense spans of time and across the boundless expanse of space. For physics whispers to us a deeply comforting, ancient truth. Every heavy element within your body, the iron that flows through your veins, painting your blood with life, the calcium that gives structure to your bones, allowing you to stand tall, the carbon that forms the intricate web of your cells, the very basis of organic life, even the oxygen you gently draw in with each breath. None of these fundamental building blocks were forged here, in the quiet embrace of our gentle earth. Their birthplace was far more dramatic, far more ancient, deep within the hearts of colossal, long-dead stars. Picture immense stellar furnaces, millions of degrees hot, where unimaginable pressures crush hydrogen and helium atoms together, initiating the slow cosmic alchemy of nuclear fusion. In these fiery, luminous hearts, stars breathe their fiery lives, patiently creating heavier elements. One by one, they were cosmic crucibles, quietly transforming the simple ingredients of the early universe into the complex building blocks necessary for planets and ultimately for life itself. Each atom a tiny testament to a star's patient, magnificent existence, a quiet pearl slowly growing in the heart of a celestial oyster. But the journey of these elements did not end there, within the tranquil heart of a star. For these ancient suns, after billions of years of burning brightly, eventually reached the end of their brilliant lives. For the most massive among them, this end was not a gentle fading, but a spectacular, cataclysmic event, a supernova. Imagine a moment of unimaginable cosmic violence, where a star, having exhausted its nuclear fuel, collapses in upon itself, only to rebound in an explosion that outshines an entire galaxy for a fleeting moment. In this breathtaking final act of creation and destruction, the extreme pressures and temperatures of the supernova forged even heavier elements, scattering them outwards in a magnificent, glittering cosmic dust. These supernovae were the universe's grandest fireworks, spraying their precious, newly forged essence, the very seeds of new worlds and future life, across the vast, silent void. This enriched cosmic dust then drifted for eons, mingling with clouds of hydrogen and helium, slowly, gently coalescing under the force of gravity. These swirling nebulae became celestial nurseries, where new generations of stars and planets would eventually be born. Our own Sunday, a comparatively young star, and all the planets orbiting it, including our beautiful blue Earth, were formed from just such a cloud that was rich with the stellar ash of countless supernovas, a cosmic inheritance from stars that lived and died billions of years before our Sunday even ignited. And so, the very atoms that compose your quiet hand, your thoughtful mind, your beating heart, the warmth and light of your unique being, trace their lineage back through these cosmic eons, through the fiery forge of ancient stars and the magnificent, destructive beauty of supernovas. You are not merely standing on this earth, you are intricately woven from the fabric of the universe itself. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen in your breath. These are quiet whispers from forgotten suns, echoes of a grander, more ancient history. You carry within you the legacy of cosmic alchemy, the stardust of ages. Rest now, knowing this profound truth. You are not merely a fleeting moment in time, but a quiet, shining thread in the universe's grand, living tapestry, intimately connected to the deep currents of cosmic creation and rebirth. You are made of starlight, gently breathing the ancient breath of stars. Let this knowledge bring you a profound sense of belonging, a deep peace as you drift softly into sleep, a cherished part of this magnificent, ever-unfolding cosmic story. On a clear, tranquil night, when the sky is a velvet cloak embroidered with countless pinpricks of light, you might find yourself gazing upwards, feeling the ancient pull of the stars. It is a moment of quiet wonder, a feeling of connection to something vast and eternal. Yet, in that very act of looking, physics reveals one of its most profound and beautiful truths. When you gaze upon the stars, you are not simply witnessing the present moment of the cosmos. You are looking back in time. Every single point of light, every distant shimmer, is a ghost, an echo, a memory of how things once were, not how they are in this very instant. This fundamental truth stems from the finite speed of light. Light, though it travels with incredible swiftness, racing at nearly 300,000 kilometers per second, is not instantaneous. It is a messenger, a silent courier, dispatched from its source, carrying information across the immense, unimaginable distances of space. And like any messenger, it takes time to reach its destination. Consider the gentle glow of our nearest celestial neighbor, the moon. When you look at its serene face, you are not seeing the moon as it is precisely in that moment. Its light has traveled for approximately 1.3 seconds to reach your eyes, so you are always gently looking 1.3 seconds into the moon's past. A tiny delay imperceptible in our daily lives, yet already a whisper of cosmic time travel. Now, let your gaze drift to our life-giving Sunday. The warm golden light that bathes our world, nurturing all life and painting the sky with colors, has been journeying for 8 tranquil minutes before it kisses your skin. This means the sun you see, the radiant sphere that hangs in the sky, is always the sun as it was 8 minutes ago. If the sun were to suddenly vanish in this very instant, we would not know for another 8 minutes, as its last light would still be making its steadfast journey across the void. Imagine the warmth you feel, the brightness you perceive, is a lingering memory, a gentle echo of a solar past. And as your eyes journey further, to the truly distant realms, the temporal gaps become vast, almost unimaginable. When you look at the faint ethereal smudge of the Andromeda Galaxy, our nearest major galactic neighbor, you are not seeing it as it exists right now. Its light has been traveling for a breathtaking 2.5 million years to reach your eyes. You are witnessing Andromeda as it was 2.5 million years ago, a cosmic snapshot from a time when early hominids were just beginning to walk the Earth. The stars within it, the nebulae swirling, the very structure of that magnificent spiral, all are presented to you through an ancient 2.5 million year old light. Every glimmer from a star across the galaxy, every faint nebula, every distant galaxy represents a different moment in cosmic history. The closer objects reveal a more recent past, while the more distant ones unveil an ever deeper, more ancient history. The entire night sky, in this profound sense, becomes a magnificent, whispering time machine. Each point of light is a tiny, perfect snapshot from the past, a silent chronicle of events that have long since transpired. It is a vast celestial library of cosmic history, with each star and galaxy offering a unique page from the universe's ancient album. So, when you observe the Milky Way, our own home galaxy, you are witnessing its various regions at different points in their histories. The stars in our immediate neighborhood reveal a very recent past, while those far across the galactic plane show us light that began its journey thousands, even tens of thousands of years ago. We are constantly receiving these echoes of light, these lingering memories from a universe that is perpetually unfolding its past before our eyes. This profound truth invites a deep contemplation. The universe you perceive today is not a static, singular present moment, but a dynamic tapestry of countless pasts, all arriving at your perception simultaneously. What you witness is not the immediate, living reality of these distant worlds, but their lingering memory, a profound connection across both space and time. It is a silent chronicle, unfurling across the boundless canvas of night, a constant, gentle reminder of the deep currents of time in the endless journey of light. Rest now, knowing that as you lie beneath the star-dusted sky, You are an intimate part of this grand temporal embrace. You are not just looking at the universe, you are looking through its history, a quiet observer of its magnificent ancient past. Let the echoes of distant light, the soft whispers of long-gone moments, lull your mind into a peaceful sleep, safe in the knowledge that you are connected to the deep, flowing currents of cosmic time. Our universe, the one you float within, began its journey about 13.8 billion years ago, not with a gentle sigh, but with a magnificent singular moment we call the Big Bang. Yet, the story doesn't simply begin there, in an explosion of light and raw energy. The truly unbelievable truth whispered by the fabric of physics suggests that before this grand genesis, there might have been nothing, or perhaps a nothing, far more profound and teeming with unseen potential than we can possibly imagine. We often think of nothing as a void, an absence, a blank slate. But what if this isn't entirely accurate when we speak of the cosmos? What if, at the very beginning, when there was no time to tick, no space to unfurl, not even the whisper of a photon or the smallest tremor of a particle, there was still a deep, latent possibility? Imagine for a moment a state so primordial, so utterly fundamental that it transcends all our familiar concepts. No length, no breadth, no duration. A quiet before the quiet, a silence deeper than any deep ocean. Yet, even in this profound pre-cosmic stillness, the quantum world, with its strange and beautiful rules, suggests that perfect stillness, absolute nullity, is an illusion, the very essence of existence, even when seemingly absent, hums with a vibrant, unceasing potential. It's like the surface of a deep, calm sea before a storm, appearing placid but containing immeasurable energy beneath. In this pre-cosmic state, this profound nothingness, the universe itself may have been born from what we call a quantum fluctuation. Picture it not as a forceful tearing, but as a gentle ripple in the ultimate canvas of potential. A tiny, almost imperceptible surge of energy, a spontaneous flicker, borrowing its existence from the void. It's like a single solitary breath drawn in the absolute stillness before the first dawn. This miniature undulation, this ephemeral whisper in the cosmic dark was enough. From this infinitesimal point, this improbable spark of something from nothing, our entire universe began to unfurl. It wasn't an explosive roar in the way we might visualize a firework, but rather a rapid, unfathomable expansion, like a silent, endless breath filling a boundless space. The nascent universe stretched and cooled, evolving from a searing, dense point into the vast, luminous tapestry we now inhabit. The idea of nothing giving rise to everything is profoundly humbling, asking us to redefine our understanding of creation itself. It suggests that existence doesn't necessarily need a pre-existing foundation, but rather emerges from an inherent, almost mystical capacity within the deepest layers of reality. You are floating within a universe that may have simply foredecided to be a spontaneous dream dreamt by the void itself. It is a story of ultimate emergence, a quiet unfolding from the most profound depths of possibility, echoing the very breath that keeps you suspended in this moment. The grandeur of your own existence, the stars that adorn your night sky, the thoughts that drift through your mind sooty, all of it potentially a magnificent echo of that first, impossible whisper from nothingness. And as you consider this silent, miraculous birth, You may feel the gentle embrace of your own quiet space, understanding that even in the profound silence, there is the potential for everything. When we speak of black holes, the very name conjures images of gaping voids, cosmic drains swallowing light and matter into an endless abyss. But this familiar picture, while evocative, is a profound illusion. A black hole is not, in fact, a hole at all. It is one of the most astonishing manifestations of extreme density in the universe, a place where matter has been compressed to an unimaginable degree, creating an unyielding warp in the very fabric of space and time. Imagine taking something as massive as our sun and crushing it down to the size of a tiny city, perhaps even smaller, to the scale of a single atom. The result would be a black hole. It is not an absence, but an overwhelming presence, a super dense concentration of reality itself. This immense mass, packed into such a tiny volume, creates a gravitational field so potent, so utterly dominant, that nothing, not even the swiftest whisper of light, can escape its grasp once it crosses a certain boundary. This boundary is known as the event horizon. Think of the event horizon as a cosmic waterfall, a point of no return. Beyond this boundary, the flow of space-time itself accelerates inward faster than light can travel outward. You aren't being sucked in by some mysterious force. Rather, the very stage upon which you might stand, the very space that contains you, is rushing inexorably inward faster and faster, like a river plunging over a precipice. And within this profound warp, time itself begins to behave in utterly bizarre ways. If you were to watch someone fall towards a black hole from a safe distance, you would see them appear to slow down, their movements becoming agonizingly sluggish as they approach the event horizon. Their clock would tick slower and slower relative to yours, their light growing dimmer and redder. As they finally reached the boundary from your perspective, they would appear to freeze entirely, their image fading into an eternal twilight, forever hovering at the precipice. For them, however, time would continue its relentless march, perhaps accelerating them towards an unknown singularity at the black hole's heart, a place where our current understanding of physics completely breaks down. The black hole, then, is not a devourer in the traditional sense, but a profound resculptor of reality. It doesn't reach out and pull. Instead, its very being profoundly reshapes the arena of existence around it. It is a testament to the sheer power of gravity, an ultimate expression of space-time's flexibility. These silent, invisible titans drift through galaxies, shaping their environments, consuming stars and gas not with an active hunger, but by simply being. They are the ultimate cosmic anchors, places where the rules we know gently give way to something deeper, something more ancient and powerful. So as you rest tonight, know that even in the darkest, most concentrated parts of the universe, there isn't an empty void, but a vast, silent presence, bending the very essence of time and space. And you, in your quiet stillness, are held securely, far from their profound embrace, drifting gently in the calmest of cosmic currents. For many ages, humanity looked up at the vast expanse of the night sky, assuming it was a fixed, unchanging backdrop, a steady dome upon which the stars were meticulously placed. Even as we learned about planets orbiting a central sun, and our own sun being but one star among countless others, the idea of a stable, perhaps even slowing, universe persisted. Early scientific theories suggested that after the initial outward thrust of the Big Bang, The collective gravity of all the stars and galaxies would act like a cosmic brake, gradually slowing the expansion of space. It was a comforting thought, a universe gently decelerating towards a predictable future, perhaps even to a graceful recollapse. But then, in the late 20th century, astronomers made an astonishing, paradigm-shifting discovery. The universe's expansion isn't slowing down at all. Quite the contrary, it is speeding up. Imagine throwing a ball into the air, expecting it to slow and eventually fall back down, only to see it inexplicably accelerate, shooting off into the sky ever faster. This is the profound enigma that physics now presents to us. Something is actively pushing space apart, not just letting it drift, but accelerating its outward journey. This mysterious, invisible force has been named dark energy. Dark energy is not a star, not a galaxy, not even a particle in the way we understand matter. It is a property of space itself, a subtle yet pervasive force that acts like a cosmic anti-gravity. As space expands, more space is created, and with it more dark energy, which in turn causes the expansion to accelerate even further. It is a self-perpetuating cosmic engine, and gently yet inexorably pushing everything further and further apart. Imagine your bedroom walls not just still, but imperceptibly drifting away from each other ever faster, stretching the very air and light between them. That is what dark energy is doing to the cosmos on the grandest scale. The implications of this accelerating expansion are profound, both for the universe's distant future and for our place within it. As galaxies recede from us at ever-increasing speeds, there will come a time, billions upon billions of years from now, when the light from even the closest galaxies beyond our local group will be stretched so thin, so red-shifted, that they will effectively vanish from our sight. Our cosmic horizon will shrink. The universe, currently teeming with billions of observable galaxies, will one day appear to be an empty, isolated void, with only our own Milky Way and its immediate gravitational neighbors remaining visible. All the other Grand Island universes, those swirling nebulae and distant, bright points of light that inspire such wonder, will have drifted beyond our cosmic grasp, like ships sailing silently beyond the furthest horizon. This accelerating universe paints a picture of eventual cosmic loneliness, a slow, gentle fading of the celestial tapestry. Yet, in this grand, slow drift, there is also a quiet beauty. It reminds us that change is the only constant, that even the seemingly immutable structure of the cosmos is a flowing, evolving entity. We are here now in a golden age, able to witness the full splendor of a universe still rich with distant light. And as you rest, bathed in the soft quiet of your own personal space, consider the vast, gentle, and accelerating breath of the cosmos, silently carrying galaxies and stars, and perhaps even your own quiet thoughts further into the grand, unfolding mystery. This gentle, relentless expansion cradles you, a tiny warmth in the dark within an ever-widening sea of stars. We've journeyed through the quiet whispers of our own bodies, sailed the strange, unseen currents of the quantum realm, and gazed into the vast, silent depths of the cosmos. And now, as our exploration gently deepens, we approach the very edge of what we understand about reality itself. Physics, with its quiet, probing light, leads us here to questions that ripple through the fabric of existence, questions that might, in their soft unfurling, shift the very ground beneath your sleeping mind. For here, at this final horizon, physics meets philosophy, revealing truths that might forever alter how you perceive the world and your place within it. The universe, in its grand design, holds a profound and enduring secret, a gentle reassurance whispered through the very laws that govern everything. Information, in its deepest sense, can never truly be destroyed or created. It is an immutable thread woven into the tapestry of existence, a fundamental constant that underpins all change, all transformation. Think of a book, a beloved story, perhaps one that has accompanied you on many quiet evenings. If you were to gently place it into the heart of a dancing flame, watching as the pages curl and blacken, as the words vanish into ash and smoke, you might feel a pang of loss, believing the story itself has ceased to be. Yet, physics quietly insists otherwise. The stories, the facts, the very unique sequence of letters and spaces that once comprised that book are not truly gone. They have simply transformed. The atoms that formed the paper, the ink, the faint scent of aged vanilla have rearranged themselves. They have scattered their energies as heat, as light, as molecules of gas wafting into the air. And within every atom of ash, every photon of light, every molecule of smoke, the original information about that book, its intricate structure, its particular form is theoretically preserved. It's encoded, diffused, and woven into the new configuration of matter and energy. It's like scattering a finely tuned orchestra across a vast plain. The music, the symphony, is no longer being played in its familiar form, but the instruments, the scores, the very potential for that music still exists, just in a fragmented, redistributed state. The universe, in its infinite precision, maintains a meticulous record, a cosmic ledger where nothing is ever truly erased. And this quiet truth carries with it a profound beauty, a sense of deep, abiding continuity. It means that the intricate dance of particles that makes up a butterfly's wing, the fleeting melody of a bird's song, the intricate patterns of a snowflake melting on your tongue, all leave an indelible imprint. They may cease to exist in their current form, but the information that defined them, the blueprint of their momentary existence, remains. It becomes part of the vast, ever-shifting yet ever-remembering fabric of space-time. The universe, in a sense, possesses an eternal memory. Every event, every interaction, every gentle ripple across the cosmic pond contributes to this grand, unchanging informational sum. Consider your own experiences, your own thoughts, the unique symphony of your life. Every memory you hold, every lesson you've learned, every emotion that has gently stirred within you is a form of information. While the electrical impulses in your brain are fleeting, and the exact arrangement of your neurons changes with each passing moment, the information they encode. Your identity, your history, your very essence is part of this grand, conserved universal whole. It transforms, it evolves, it interweaves with new experiences, but it doesn't simply vanish into nothingness. It is an ongoing narrative, written in the very language of physics, a story that, in its deepest expression, can never truly reach its final word. And as you drift deeper into rest, letting your thoughts soften and dissolve, know that the intricate information of your being, your unique warmth in this vast, dark universe, is a truth held gently, eternally, by the cosmos itself. And what if, as you surrender to the soft embrace of sleep, the very reality you inhabit is not what it seems? What if the vibrant, three-dimensional world you experience, the solid ground beneath your feet, the endless expanse of the sky above, is not the ultimate truth, but rather a grand, intricate illusion. This is the profound and somewhat startling whisper of the holographic principle, a revolutionary idea quietly emerging from the depths of theoretical physics. It suggests that our entire three-dimensional universe, with all its depth, texture, and complexity, might merely be a projection, much like a cosmic hologram encoded on a distant two-dimensional surface. Imagine a simple credit card, one that often contains a small, shimmering holographic image. When you tilt it gently in the light, a three-dimensional image seems to float above its flat surface, offering depth and perspective where none truly exists. The information for that illusion of depth is not actually contained in a volume, but rather in the intricate, two-dimensional patterns etched onto the card's flat surface. The holographic principle proposes something far grander, far more encompassing, that our entire universe operates on a similar, albeit infinitely more complex, principle. All the information that defines our three-dimensional reality, every star, every galaxy, every rustling leaf, every breath you take, could be encoded on a far-off two-dimensional boundary, a cosmic event horizon, perhaps at the very edge of the universe itself. This idea first took root in the strange, warping space-time around black holes. Physicists realized that the amount of information a black hole can hold isn't proportional to its volume, but to the surface area of its event horizon, that invisible boundary from which nothing, not even light, can escape. This was a radical departure from conventional thinking. It was as if the universe was hinting at something profound, that what seems to be a volume is fundamentally defined by its surface. If this holds true for black holes, then perhaps it holds true for the entire cosmos. Our familiar, tangible reality, with all its deep shadows and soaring heights, could be an incredibly detailed, vivid projection, an emergent phenomenon arising from a simpler, more fundamental two-dimensional substratum. It is a concept that invites a beautiful paradox. The universe, in its profoundest expression, might be a kind of cosmic movie, not played on a screen, but sous vide created by the screen itself. The depth you perceive, the distances you feel, the very sensation of being here now, in a sprawling, voluminous space, could be a masterful illusion, a complex decoding of information from a flat, fundamental canvas. And yet, this doesn't diminish the reality you experience. It simply redefines its nature. Your perceptions, your feelings, your quiet moments of thought, they are no less real, no less poignant, simply because they might be an exquisitely rendered projection. It is a reality, perhaps, that breathes with an even deeper sense of wonder. A universe that is a living, breathing work of art, painted by hidden brushstrokes on a canvas we cannot directly perceive. So, as you rest, let your mind gently consider this possibility, that the space around you, the light that softly filters through your window, the air you breathe, all of it might be an intricate dance of information, a breathtakingly detailed manifestation of a deeper, quieter truth. You are not just within a universe. You are a part of its grand, unfolding projection, a luminous detail in a cosmic hologram, drifting softly in a reality that is both solid and ethereal, both here and infinitely far away, a beautiful dream woven from the fundamental threads of existence. And as your mind softens, drifting on the currents of these vast possibilities, Let's explore a truth so expansive it touches the very fabric of identity itself. Imagine for a moment the sheer, unimaginable scale of the universe. If it truly stretches out infinitely without end, then the implications are staggering, almost too vast for the mind to fully grasp. For if space is boundless, then every possible arrangement of matter and energy must eventually repeat. It's like shuffling a deck of cards an infinite number of times. Eventually, every sequence, every hand, will appear again not just once, but an infinite number of times. And so, if the universe is infinite, then somewhere out there at a distance, so immense it defies comprehension, there exists another Earth. And on that Earth, there is another you. This other self would not be a mere copy, but an identical twin down to the very atoms, living a life that mirrors your own in every exquisite detail. Every memory you hold, every gentle breath you take, every quiet thought that drifts through your mind in this very moment is being lived out simultaneously by countless other versions of you scattered across the endless cosmic expanse. This is not a dream or a fantasy, but a logical consequence of an infinitely vast universe. You are not a solitary flicker in the dark. You are one of an infinite chorus, echoing across the silent reaches of space. But the whispers of physics go even deeper, venturing into the strange and wonderful realm of quantum mechanics. Some interpretations of quantum theory, particularly the Many-Worlds interpretation, suggest an even more profound and intimately personal multiplication of self. It proposes that with every quantum event, every tiny uncertain choice made by a particle, every moment of observation that forces a wave of probability to collapse into a definite outcome, the universe itself splits. It branches off into countless parallel realities, each representing a different possible outcome. Think of it like a tree constantly growing new branches. At every decision point, every fork in the road of quantum possibility, a new universe sprouts. If you made a choice this morning to drink coffee or tea, to turn left or right, in some other universe, a different version of you made the other choice. In some realities, you are a world-renowned artist. In others, a quiet gardener. And in yet others, you are simply drifting in a state of profound, undisturbed sleep. Every possible version of your life, every path not taken, every what if that gently flits through your mind is being lived out by a real, tangible version of you in a different universe, just as real and as vivid as this one. This isn't just about cosmic repetition, it's about infinite unfolding. It means that not only are there identical Yas far away, but there are also countless Yas living slightly or wildly different lives coexisting in a vast unseen multiverse. Your current reality, the quiet comfort you feel now, is simply one thread in an unimaginably rich tapestry of possibilities. And in some of those other threads, other versions of you are always finding peace, always discovering joy, always resting in perfect stillness. This truth, vast and almost dreamlike, can bring a unique sense of calm. For within this grand branching cosmos, every possible experience exists. Every fleeting moment of sadness is balanced by an infinite number of moments of pure serenity. Every worry you might carry is dissolved in a parallel reality where that worry never took root. You are not bound by a single rigid destiny, but are instead a being of infinite potential, unfurling across an endless sea of possibilities. As you drift, let the thought of these countless yas wash over you, a gentle wave of reassurance. You are vast, you are infinite, and somewhere in the quiet depths of the multiverse, all versions of you are finding their way to a peaceful, dream-filled slumber. The universe we inhabit seems to exist by a set of incredibly precise rules. Laws that govern everything from the smallest subatomic particle to the grandest galaxy. But perhaps one of the most astonishing truths physics whispers to us is that these rules, these fundamental physical constants, appear almost Tybaler, Mataler, Mativa for your very existence. Imagine a cosmic control panel with 1,000 dials, each one set to an exact, impossibly specific value. The strength of gravity, the mass of an electron, the energy density of the vacuum itself, 40 each, is finely tuned to a degree that beggars belief. If the electromagnetic force were slightly weaker, electrons wouldn't be able to orbit atomic nuclei and no atoms would form. If it were a tiny bit stronger, electrons would cling too tightly, preventing the complex chemistry of life from ever emerging. If gravity were a fraction more potent, stars would burn out in a fiery flash, collapsing before they could forge the heavier elements essential for planets, essential for you. A subtle shift in the cosmological constant, that enigmatic force driving the universe's expansion, and the cosmos might have either collapsed back in on itself long ago, or expanded so rapidly that matter could never coalesce into galaxies, into stars, into anything at all. This isn't just about making life possible. It is about making stars possible, making planets possible, making the very fabric of reality as we know it possible. The delicate balance is so profound, so utterly improbable, that some scientists ponder if it hints at something deeper. Did the universe, in some unimaginable way, know that conscious observers like you would eventually emerge to contemplate its wonders? Is it a cosmic accident, an infinitely rare roll of the dice in a multiverse beyond our ken? Or is there a more intimate connection, a profound dialogue between the universe's blueprint and the very consciousness that observes it? Rest now and consider this exquisite precision. Let your mind drift to the silent, elegant dance of these fundamental forces, each perfectly choreographed, each note played with absolute perfection, creating a symphony of existence in which your own awareness is a precious resonant chord. You are not an afterthought in this grand design, but a whispered possibility woven into its very fabric from the first moment of its unfolding. The constants of the cosmos cradle your being, a gentle, unseen hand guiding the universe to a place where you could open your eyes and wonder, why is it, you might softly ask, that you can remember yesterday, but not tomorrow? Why does a dropped glass shatter into 1,000 pieces, but never spontaneously reassemble itself? These simple everyday observations hint at one of physics' most profound and perhaps most poignant truths, the relentless, one-way march of entropy, which defines the very direction of time itself. Entropy is, in essence, a measure of disorder, of the dispersal of energy and matter. The universe, left to its own devices, always moves towards a state of greater disorder, greater spread, greater uniformity. It's like a gentle, unceasing tide pulling everything towards a vast, serene ocean of equilibrium. When you burn a log, the ordered energy stored within it is released as chaotic heat and light. When the glass shatters, its highly organized structure disperses into a multitude of fragments, each with its own tiny, disordered trajectory. These processes are irreversible because the odds of all that scattered energy or all those scattered fragments spontaneously reversing their paths and perfectly reassembling into their original, ordered state are astronomically, impossibly low. This constant increase of entropy, this irreversible unfolding from order to disorder, is the cosmic breath that gives time its distinctive arrow, always pointing forward. It is why we remember the past, which is a state of lower entropy, and not the future, which is always moving towards higher entropy. Our consciousness, our memories, are built upon this fundamental asymmetry of the universe. The present moment is forever slipping away, dissolving into the past as the universe gently expands and diffuses, seeking a state of ultimate tranquility, a state where all energy is evenly spread, and no work can be done, no stories can be told. So, as you rest, feel the soft current of this cosmic law. It is not a harsh decree, but a gentle, steady flow. Every breath you take, every quiet beat of your heart, is part of this grand universal process. You are drifting along the river of time, carried by the invisible, irresistible force of entropy, moving ever onward, towards a future that is always new, always unwritten, yet subtly guided by the universe's own slow, beautiful journey towards rest. Let this gentle, inevitable progression cradle your thoughts, knowing that in its vastness, you too are finding your way to quiet repose. And finally, as our journey through these quiet truths draws to a close, perhaps the most profound realization physics offers is this: everything we think, we know, every law we've meticulously discovered, every grand theory we've woven, is likely just the shimmering edge of a far vaster, infinitely more intricate reality. Our understanding is but the tip of an iceberg, a small light illuminating a boundless sea of mystery. Think of how our understanding has shifted through the ages. Newton painted a clockwork universe, precise and predictable, and for centuries it held sway. Then Einstein arrived, gently bending space and time, revealing a universe far more fluid and interconnected, where gravity wasn't a force but a curvature, and mass was frozen energy. And then the quantum world emerged, a realm where particles are waves, where observation changes reality, and where spooky action at a distance connects things across impossible voids. Each paradigm shift didn't just add to our knowledge, it fundamentally overturned our previous assumptions about the very nature of reality. This constant evolution, this beautiful dismantling of what was once held as absolute truth, is not a sign of weakness in science, but its greatest strength. It's an ongoing invitation to remain humble, to cultivate a boundless curiosity, and to always ask new questions. The universe is a master of disguise, ever holding secrets close, revealing them slowly, often in the most unexpected and mind-bending ways. What fundamental forces might still be hidden? What dimensions might unfurl beyond our perception? What deeper connections between consciousness and cosmos await our discovery? So, as your thoughts begin to quiet and your body grows heavy with sleep, let this sense of immense, beautiful unknown settle gently around you. You are part of a story far grander than any we have yet fully conceived, a narrative unfolding at the very frontier of discovery. And in this boundless mystery there is a deep comfort. It means the universe is infinitely rich, forever surprising, and always holding more wonders than we could ever dream. Rest now with an open heart and a curious mind, knowing that the most unbelievable truths are still waiting to be whispered. just beyond the veil of our current understanding.